Gunner and the King sounds like a great morning show, right? On Rock 98.7. It's Gunner and the King. Well, Gunner and the King are what we're going to focus on Saturday with Gunner Stockton and Haynes King, who have chances to do special things in these two important football games for Georgia and Georgia Tech. But I think one thing is very different about the two. I don't think Georgia Tech can beat Clemson unless Haynes King plays a fantastic game. I think Georgia can beat Tennessee if Gunner's just okay. That's the difference in the two, and that's more about what's around them. It's more about some pedigree. It's more about some history than it is about Saturday. Chuck, in my mind, I cannot picture Haynes going out there throwing for 175 yards, completing 58%, rushing for 28 yards, and thinking Georgia Tech has enough other things good enough to win this game against Clemson. Whereas, if I said to you, Gunner, throws for 215, doesn't turn it over, throws a touchdown, rushes for 28, 30 yards. Georgia's defense and their run game, I think, is good enough, and it always is good enough to win games like this.
If Gunner is good this season, I think Georgia can be great. That's kind of the difference. Haynes King has to be the highest ship on the horizon for Georgia Tech. He's the one. It all has to go through him. That phrase I use sometimes to distinguish quarterbacks, they all have to be good enough to start, but is that a guy we can win with, or is that a guy we win because of? I want a guy I can win because of. And if you're not of the elite talent everywhere else, like Julian saying, really talented, 5-star kid, they may win with him this year. I don't know. There were times they won with Will Howard last year when you've got 5-star studs everywhere. Georgia Tech doesn't have that. When you have Haynes King, then you got to win because of him.
So the Colorado game was an example of that. I don't think Haynes threw it great. They didn't ask him to throw it a bunch. No. But he combined for nearly 300 all-purpose yards. He rushed for $156 on the ground. You can argue Haynes' legs won that game against an okay Colorado team. Just okay. They might not even be that, but I'll call them an okay Colorado team. And they needed every one of those Haynes yards, every one of those Haynes touchdowns, and every one of those Haynes plays to win a 7-point game on the road. There is not a scenario where Haynes throws 2 picks on Saturday, where they contain him in the run game, where now it's like, okay, Jamal Haynes and the other running backs and Georgia Tech's defense, they're going to be good enough to overcome a shoddy quarterback performance. Georgia showed us this one before. They just have, where Gunner can't be bad and expect to win, but Gunner doesn't have to be the difference maker, and Georgia can find a way. That's odd to say about a team going on the road to face a really good opponent like Tennessee, but it's a compliment to Georgia.
And I know how Clemson's played the first couple of weeks. The comparison, we talk Haynes King and Cade Klubnik, they don't play each other. The comparison between the matchup between the Georgia Tech defense and the Clemson offense, I think that's a lot less likely of a situation for that defense to take over than maybe what could happen with Georgia's defense. Like, there's at least the scenario where you look at the end of the game and Heupel's like, damn it, we scored 16. We could never get anything going. I don't see that Georgia Tech's defense necessarily sets that tone with Clemson.
I would agree. There's so many fascinating aspects of both games. The quarterback part of it is front and center for both.